movie Robert De Niro. And straight from Philly, Kim Delaney, plus the rebirth of Kirk Franklin. Your local news hatches now.
Straight ahead, the new memorial and lights at Ground Zero. We're live with local tributes to 911 victims, plus the latest on a devastating fire at a local apartment complex, and an NBC10 exclusive, new information about a man who sold sick puppies next.
Elmo, Big Bird, and all your Sesame Street friends are coming to the First Union Spectrum for Sesame Street Live's all-new show, Let's Be Friends, March 13th through 17th. Pick up a coupon for a $3 savings on tickets at your Chrysler Plymouth Jeep dealer and check out family-sized Chrysler minivans. Be sure to see Jeep's family-sized Grand Cherokee Laredo. See Sesame Street Live at the First Union Spectrum, March 13th through 17th. Get your tickets now at the box office or any Ticketmaster outlet.
Tonight, two beams of light shine skyward from Ground Zero. You can see the two brilliant blue columns rising from New York City, where the World Trade Centers once stood. The lights now serve as a symbol of hope and remembrance, 6 months to the day of the worst terrorist attack on America. This was the scene on the night of September 11th, 2001. Smoke hung over the site where the lights now shine. It was an eerie picture. The New York skyline, with only devastation where the Twin Towers had been just hours before. Now tonight, a time to pause and remember. Here's how it began. The calm of a sunny fall morning was shattered at 8:46 a.m. That's when the first plane hit the North World Trade Center towers. Less than 20 minutes later, a second plane takes aim at the South Tower, both towers now engulfed in flames. Then, just after 9:30, a third group of suicide hijackers crash a plane into the Pentagon, our nation's military nerve center. A short time later, back in New York, the unthinkable. One of the world's tallest structures crumbles to the ground. Followed half an hour later by its sister tower. Terrorists had reduced New York's Twin Towers to rubble. Meantime, in western Pennsylvania, a fourth hijacked flight met its fate. Passengers fought off hijackers and forced United Flight 93 into the ground. Like the rest of the nation, the Philadelphia region is pausing to remember 911. Tonight, reaction from a local victim's family and from those who offer spiritual comfort. NBC10's Beth McDonough is live in South Philadelphia with that story. Beth?
Larry, this is a night filled with prayer and reflection all across the Delaware Valley. All they can do now is light candles as time unwinds from that horrific day last September. Chaplains from 4 different faiths gather under one house of God to send a strong message.
To bring recovery, to bring healing, to bring caring.
I feel as though God, Almighty God, has put me here for a purpose, to do a job.
Motivated by compassion and patriotism, each chaplain bears a badge earned through grief. That's by ministering to rescue workers countless times at Ground Zero.
I go there to support, in the midst of a pit of grief, people that need sacrificial love.
When a body is found.
Last October, NBC10's Visa Kahama traveled with some of the clergymen to New York City, offering words of comfort to help uplift emergency workers in unsettling times. A ceremony like this is an important reminder to the public of lives lost and brings back painful memories for the Brandon Marty family.
You always expect to live longer than your children. And it's been the hardest thing all of us have ever done.
He was the best friend you ever could have, best brother.
The last time the Brandon Martys heard Nick's voice, September 11th. That's when the 21-year-old research analyst called his family in West Deptford, New Jersey, from his office on the 89th floor of the second tower at the World Trade Center. As the immediacy of the tragedy slips away, Nick's family mourns without a body. It was never recovered. They fill the void with photos and fond memories.
His presence is so powerful that even when he's not here, his presence is felt by us.
And families like the Brandon Martys lost a lot, but they still possess faith, exactly what the clergy hope for. Reporting live in South Philly, I'm Beth McDonough, NBC10 News.
Yeah, thank you. In New York today, people paused at the site of the World Trade Center to remember. They rang the New York Fire Department bell to honor the 343 firefighters killed on September 11th. There also was a moment of silence at 8:46 a.m., the exact moment when the first plane hit. At Ground Zero, shadows were cast across the rubble. The death toll there stands at 2,830. Bells also tolled today in New York's Battery Park. That's where New Yorkers gathered around a temporary memorial, a 45,000-pound bronze and steel sphere. It's the sculpture that once stood in the World Trade Center Plaza. At the Pentagon today, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld toured the rebuilding from the terror attack there. 6 months ago today, Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. 189 people were killed. The crash left structural, smoke, and water damage. Rumsfeld marveled at how fast the Pentagon has been repaired. Crews expect to finish reconstruction by September 11th of this year. This was the scene at the Pentagon 6 months ago tonight. A huge American flag was unfurled at the damaged end of the Pentagon. Government officials hung the flag as a dramatic symbol of patriotism in the wake of terror. There was also a memorial service today in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to remember the victims of terror there. A plaque was dedicated to honor the 44 people who died in the crash of Flight 93. Passengers fought to retake control of the plane from their hijackers. One of those passengers, Todd Beamer, led the battle with those now famous words, "Let's roll." President Bush also marked the 9/11 anniversary with a special memorial at the White House. More than 1,000 people attended the program, among them U.S. officials, foreign dignitaries, and 300 victims' family members. The president expressed both sympathy and determination in the war on terror.
But this mission will end when the work is finished, when terror networks of global reach have been defeated.
President Bush also warned that still more battles lie ahead. He added the nation will need to be patient and strong to prevail. President Bush will visit Philadelphia tomorrow. He'll be talking about community service in North Philadelphia, then visit the new Kimmel Center. We'll have live coverage of the president's visit to Philadelphia tomorrow morning right here on NBC10. In South Jersey, a raging fire has left dozens of people out on the street tonight. 30 units were damaged when flames raced through this apartment complex. The blaze went to 3 alarms before firefighters managed to bring it under control. This was at the Village of Stony Run Apartments. That's near the intersection of Regent Avenue and Route 73 in Maple Shade, Burlington County. NBC10's Mike Strug is live in Maple Shade with the very latest now. Mike?
Well, Larry, firefighters continue to wet down the hot spots here at Building H at Stony Run, some 8.5 hours after the fire was first reported. And as those first firefighters arrived on the scene and the flames were tearing through the roof, they couldn't help but remember that this was the 6-month anniversary of the tragedy of 9/11.
The first thing that goes through my mind is trying not to get anybody hurt, make sure we get in there, do some searches, get some residents out if we can, and that's what we did today. Unfortunately, we lost the building in fire, but nobody got hurt, and we didn't have to rescue anybody, and that was the most important part today.
While the cause of the fire is still under investigation, the preliminary indications point to workmen on the roof.
Well, I was standing behind my shop, and I heard a bunch of workers on the roof yelling, "Get off the roof." And next thing I knew, the whole building was up.
It may be that the roofers were simply the first to spot the fire, but once it got started, it spread quickly through the old wooden structure.
The roof rafter is like a cockloft area, and that's where the fire gets up in there, and that's what makes it spread down.
That's old code building?
That's exactly right.
As night fell, the flames were finally brought under control, but the building was gutted. And while many residents lost everything they had in the fire, and the Red Cross is helping to find shelter for many of them, they're thankful that the things they lost can all be replaced.
I was sleeping. I work nights. I'm a nurse over at Underwood. And my neighbor woke me, and my apartment was already full of smoke, so I'm very, very lucky.
It's a horrendous experience. Horrendous. But thank God she was safe. The dog is safe, and now we're staying in the hotel overnight.
Well, tonight, the Giordano's, their dog Bentley, more than 50 other residents of Stony Run, and thankfully, all of the firefighters are safe and unharmed. Live in Maple Shade, I'm Mike Strug, NBC10 News.
Mike, thanks. New Jersey residents are coping with tough new water restrictions tonight. Officials announced the crackdown, with the state suffering through one of the worst droughts in years. A drought emergency has been declared for all of New Jersey and in eastern Pennsylvania. A drought warning is in effect for Delaware. Here's what those water restrictions mean for people in New Jersey. Lawn watering is banned except for areas in central and coastal regions of the state. Serving water in restaurants, prohibited unless a customer specifically asks for water. Washing your car is banned except at car washes that recycle water. And filling pools is also banned, except for newly constructed pools. Meteorologist John Bolaris is here now with a drought update. John?
Yeah, and you can see drought emergency continues for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and a drought warning for Delaware. Earthwatch radar picking up some much-needed rain. You can see that developing across the Tennessee Valley right in here. That rain is moving this way. I'll let you know how much rain will move in, when it will move in, and when the rain will move out. With the complete 5-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes, Larry.
John, thanks. Tonight, 2 parents are under arrest for a possible crime against their children. Police say they moved out of this apartment and left their kids behind. We'll have the details.
And I'm Doug Scheimel. Some startling developments in the case of a pet store accused of selling sick and dying dogs. I'll have the latest in a live report.
And former 76er Jason Williams gets slapped with more charges in connection with the shooting death of a limo driver. Stay up for the latest when NBC10 News comes right back.
Thursday on NBC10 News at 11. Watching your weight, you may want to take a closer look. Those nutrition labels could not only be confusing, they could be wrong.
Someone goofed, and the consumer is going to take the brunt of this because they'll have more calories than they want.
So who's keeping track of these nutrition labels? Who's making sure they're accurate?
I'm really surprised. I'm shocked. We tested some popular snack products. I'll tell you which labels were nutrition fact and which were nutrition fiction.
Weighing the Facts, Thursday on NBC10 News at 11.
If you love trains, get your caboose to the Franklin Institute for the new Train Factory exhibit. Through sound, steam, and state-of-the-art special effects, the mighty 350-ton Baldwin 60,000 train roars back to life. At the new Train Factory, pump up the steam in a theatrical setting of a 1920s assembly shop, or take a ride through history and learn about the development of railroads. There's always something exciting to learn at the Franklin Institute. Tonight, don't forget to watch the Conan O'Brien Show for your chance to win tickets to a live taping in New York City. Sponsored by Heineken. It's all about the beer.
Tomorrow on NBC10 News at 5.
This woman paid hundreds for tax preparation and financial coaching.
They've done absolutely nothing for us.
I'm NBC10's Tracy Davidson. Find out how you can avoid getting ripped off.
Tomorrow on NBC10 News at 5. The NBC10 Earthwatch Weather Team. When weather affects your life, take control with the only certified team of meteorologists in the entire Delaware Valley. Trained professionals who know the scientific facts behind the forecast. Certified meteorologists bringing it all together. Backed by the power of Doppler 10,000 accuracy.
Now, Kathy Orr is standing by.
Thanks, John.
Giving you the power to plan ahead.
We'll be tracking the storm pattern throughout the day.
The NBC10 Earthwatch Weather Team. Because knowledge is power.
You know who lives here? Cinderella. I'm pretty sure she has her own room. That's Walt, way before your time. And Mickey's here somewhere, not the one you haul around at home, the real guy. Now I'll be Jasmine and you be Aladdin.
Come share the excitement at our year-long celebration of Walt Disney's 100th birthday.
Boy, if it wasn't for me, you'd miss everything.
We share a dream come true. Make plans at DisneyWorld.com.
What happened?
I thought he said a potato was coming.
Tornado? Why would I say a potato was coming?
Jack, were you on a cell phone?
Yeah.
It's the cellular static. Here, Sprint PCS built the largest all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so you won't have any of these misunderstandings.
Bullet.
Come here.
Looks like things are clearing up already.
4,000 minutes for $39.99 from Sprint PCS.
Amtrak service was disrupted tonight after a person was hit and killed by a train. It happened near Delaware Park in Stanton, Newcastle County. That's about 7 miles south of Wilmington. Chopper 10 over the scene at about 5 o'clock tonight. The victim was struck by a train heading from New York to Washington. At first, Amtrak reported delays of up to 45 minutes because of the accident. You see 2 trains in that picture. That's because a second train stopped to pick up passengers from the first train involved in the accident. Investigators are still on the scene, and Amtrak is now reporting 10-minute delays. Tonight, a Delaware County man began serving a long sentence for the kidnap and murder of his own daughter. Robert Rivera was convicted last January. Today, a judge slapped him with a life sentence and no possibility of parole. Rivera took 20-month-old Caitlin Rivera from the home of a babysitter in August of 1999. The toddler's body has never been found. A defense attorney says Rivera will appeal his conviction. A Delaware couple is arraigned tonight accused of abandoning their child. Police say the parents moved out, leaving 2 young boys to fend for themselves. This is happening in Wilmington, Newcastle County. Police claim the couple packed up and left their boys behind, ages 15 and 12. William and Ida Sawyer are charged with abandonment and conspiracy. Managers at this apartment complex say the Sawyers were evicted last week. They let us take these pictures of the Sawyers' apartment. Boxes and clothes were piled all over the place. Bare mattresses on the floor and plates caked with rotting food were in the kitchen. The 15-year-old is staying with relatives. The 12-year-old is in a juvenile detention center. Police describe the parents as petty criminals with long records. They remain in jail tonight. That's because both had outstanding warrants on other charges. Former 76er Jason Williams was back in a Hunterdon County court today to face additional criminal charges. Williams was already charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of a limo driver. The shooting happened last month at Williams' New Jersey estate. Today, Williams was charged with hindering apprehension, evidence tampering, and conspiracy. Investigators claim Williams wiped his own fingerprints off a shotgun and told others to lie about what happened. A defense attorney says Williams will be cleared in court. Now the latest on an NBC10 exclusive investigation. We've told you about a Philadelphia pet shop that's allegedly been selling sick puppies. Tonight, NBC10 has learned the store owner is facing animal cruelty charges, and that could raise doubts about whether he's fit to be selling pets at all. NBC10's Doug Schimel is live in Northeast Philadelphia with the latest. Doug.
Yeah, and the owner of the Puppy's Pet Store here at Cotman and the Boulevard faces almost 24 charges of animal cruelty, much to the astonishment of customers who have recently bought pets from him.
On Christmas Eve, we had to take him and have him put down because he was going into renal failure.
The tiny boxer pup lasted barely 3 months before it succumbed to kidney failure and pneumonia.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Chris Shuttleworth has since bought a healthy boxer pup from a reputable breeder after spending more than $1,200 in vet bills on the sick dog she bought from the Puppy's Pet Store at Cotman and the Boulevard. She says she is not surprised to hear that owner Chuck Guthrie now faces animal cruelty charges.
I'm glad to see finally something's being done about it. I know there's so many of these places out there.
I run the best business that I can. I try to keep everything healthy.
NBC10 has learned that Chuck Guthrie's kennel in Burlington Township, New Jersey was raided last year by the Burlington Township Police and the New Jersey SPCA. And investigators there say Guthrie faces more than 20 counts of animal cruelty charges for allegedly running a puppy mill.
I took her to the vet.
For customers like Dave Lee, who bought 3 sick dogs from Chuck Guthrie, and Mary Wichterman, whose Shepherd Baron limps and has weight loss problems, they wonder how Chuck Guthrie continues selling puppies.
I want my money or I'm coming after him, and he's not going to like it when I get through with him.
Well, the New Jersey SPCA tells NBC10 that Chuck Guthrie failed to appear in court on those animal cruelty charges, and as a result, the Burlington Township Police Department says they have a bench warrant for his arrest. Live in Northeast Philadelphia, Doug Schimel, NBC10 News.
John Balearis up with the weather. Today was for people who forgot what winter was like.
A little chill back in the air today, but we need some rain. And we have that tomorrow. Some rain moving this way, but not enough. Let's check out what we have out there right now. That's a spout, a water spout. That's not happening here. That's down in Florida, off the Florida coastline. Not quite touching the water, but you